Good morning, Angela Yee.
Good morning, DJ Envy.
Charlamagne the God.
Peace to the planet. It's Thursday. We survived that fake nor'easter yesterday.
That was bad for some people.
It wasn't fake in some
areas. Over 4,000 flights were canceled yesterday.
Right. Yeah, but what was the weather really like, though? I mean, we talk about all of the things that happened, 4,000 flights canceled and all that, but what was the weather really like?
Well, our camera guy from Revolt couldn't make it in this morning because
I don't believe it.
And it's still snowing down out in Long Island. And
yeah,
yesterday we got a foot and a half by me, so it was
you had a foot and a half by you?
Foot and a half of snow.
Well, I was that. I didn't get that at all. You know how I gauged that? I gauged that by how easy it is to get out of the driveway in the morning. And it was very easy breezy.
Well, I got a plow company, but not a plow company had to come 3 times yesterday. It was that much snow.
Yeah,
it was a lot of snow.
It wasn't good for some people.
It was fake by me. Okay, very light.
And you live about what, 10 minutes from me, 15 minutes maybe? No, about 10 minutes from me.
Yeah, very light.
We had a lot of snow, and I know in Long Island they're saying it's still snowing now. So a lot of people got a lot of snow, but it's over.
actually supposed to snow. No, it's actually supposed to snow some more this morning.
This morning, in the Long Island only, though, right?
Oh, I don't know. It just said more snow.
Yeah, they were saying off the coast.
Lightly.
Off the Long Island, yeah.
But I know for people traveling, it was a nightmare yesterday.
But it's over, and I'm happy it's over, damn it. Because I was tired of, I'm not going to lie, I was tired of watching kiddie movies and playing Monopoly. I must have played Monopoly 9 times yesterday. I had 3 talent shows in my house, and I watched some twice.
But that's actually the best part of it. I mean, the fact that when you snowed in, everybody just, for whatever reason, you just feel so closer. I don't know what it is. Everybody just in the house around each other, keeping each other warm, I guess. But the only thing I don't like is the snacking, man. Because my wife and my daughter, they get to, like, they made cinnamon rolls yesterday. Why y'all making cinnamon rolls?
Yeah, they made.
For what? Yeah, why? Why you making cinnamon rolls,
my daughter made chocolate chip cookies, the soft ones that I couldn't eat.
Man. I got time for all that, man.
And then they just snacking all day long, and you say crunch.
And so you get caught up in the habit because you're just in the house and there's nothing else to do. So you read, you watch a little TV, eat some snacks. Like, man, F that.
Interestingly enough, my favorite thing to do when it's snowing is to actually go out. So we went out to eat because you can walk places in Brooklyn. There's stuff that's open. And it's a great time to go and like be social. And there were a lot of people in the restaurant.
Nah, I mean when it snows, I love to take the kids out in the yard and we just have fun, play, snowball fights, build a snowman, snow angels, do all the corny stuff that kids love, and I have a good time doing it. It's just when we get inside, I'm tired. Like I done seen Sung at least 25 times.
Sung is actually a great movie.
It's great, but when you see it that many times, you're tired of it. I know what's going to happen the next part. I want to know how much money Mano makes from Sung. Because Mano's song, $1 million, is in Sung.
$1 million is in Sung.
It's in Sung, and I wonder how much he gets paid off.
I feel sorry for the dude in Sung. He reminds me a lot of club promoters I know. Which one? The guy, the head guy. Yeah. You know, he's been trying to throw all these parties for years, and none of them will pop off.
Right.
And then you finally get one, and he thinks he made it.
Yeah.
It's a movie, though.
It's a great movie. All right, well, let's get the show cracking. ERIKA Alexander will be joining us this morning.
Whoa. This means a lot because on Thursday nights, I was raised Jehovah's Witness. We used to have meeting on Thursday nights, so I would have to put the VHS tape in around 6:30, 7 o'clock before we would leave for the Kingdom Hall, just so I could catch Martin and Living Single on Fox.
Right.
All right?
But she also played Pam from the Cosby Show.
Yes, she did. But Pam from the Cosby Show, Maxine Shaw from the Living Single, Maxine Shaw, attorney at law.
That's right.
ERIKA Alexander.
That's going to be a throwback today, so we'll kick it with her, see what she's been up to and all that. And let's get the show cracking. Front page news, what are we talking about?
Man, this is hard to watch. A man that was unarmed in his own backyard killed by the police.
So why'd y'all watch it?
I mean, it was actually just video of the audio. You can hear them telling him to show me your hands, and then you hear the gunshots. I'm not going to play it this morning, but I'm telling you, there's video that they released of that.
Very sad.
It's very, very, very difficult.
He had, what, 2 kids?
Yeah, we'll get into that in front
of goodness. All right, we'll talk about it. Keep it locked. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning. We are the Breakfast Club. Let's get to front page news. Let's talk about this unarmed black man shot and killed.
Yes, Sacramento police did release this video. It shows the moments that an unarmed man who was suspected of breaking 3 car windows was killed by the police. He was in his own backyard. 2 cops actually killed him. Now, when you hear the 911 call and then you hear the police responding from the video that they did release, you can hear them yelling at him to put his hands up. And then you hear a lot of gunshots being fired, about 20 bullets. Now, his grandmother, Sequita Thompson, told the Sacramento Bee he was at the wrong place at the wrong time in his own backyard. Come on now, they didn't have to do that. He did have 2 children.
Yeah, R.I.P. Was it Stephen Clark?
I think Stephen Clark.
Stephen Clark murdered in his own backyard.
23 years old. Now, body cam videos do show the cops running through the neighborhood, ordering him to stop and show his hands as they close in on him in the backyard. And then one of them yells out, "Show me your hands, gun." And then about 4 seconds later, I guess he had his cell phone on him, and they thought the cell phone, I guess, was a gun. "Show me your hands, gun, gun, gun." And then that's when you hear the bullets, the 20 bullets in the span of 2 seconds being fired.
I just feel like if you're a cop and you don't know the difference between a cell phone and a gun, maybe you don't need to be a cop. And like, they didn't give him no time at all from the time they said, "Put your hands up," to from the time they started firing.
The sad part, I mean, it was pitch black outside, but there's certain protocol I thought, and maybe I'm wrong. It was pitch black outside, but I thought that they're supposed to fire 2 or 3 times and then assess the situation. They fired 20 times. There was no other bullets coming back at them. Yeah, there was no bullets coming back at them. They just was like, I'm kind of concerned and scared about protocol. And then they cut the mics off when they were talking. You know, basically said, you know, "Hey, mute." Make it basically, and then they turn their mics off.
Yeah, because they know they messed up at that point.
Exactly.
So being that they know they messed up at that point, they wanted to turn the recording off, so none of that can be held against them in the future.
Absolutely.
I just think some people should not be allowed to make mistakes, man. Like cops, surgeons, if it's a matter of life and death, you have to measure twice and cut once. And I understand cops have a very, 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 very tough job. But it's very tough just to be a black man in America as well, okay? Because I'm following proper protocol. You tell me to throw my hands up, I throw my hands up. I got my phone in my hand, and you mistake my phone for a gun, and then you shoot me?
Yeah.
What do you want to do? I gotta throw my phone on the ground now, too? I gotta announce I got a phone? Do you have to do that? Is that proper protocol for us as black men in America?
You shouldn't have to do that.
But I mean, it seems we do, because they mistake things that we have in our hands for guns. So should I say, "Hey, I have a phone," or "Hey, I have my wallet"? Should I say something like that just to make sure?
It's just super sad because even there is no even, man.
There is no even.
There is no even. And like I said, the fact that they shot this man 20 times or shot 20 rounds, he didn't shoot back, and he just kept shooting. There has to be protocol, man, and hopefully with these cameras they'll be convicted.
Nah, not if they can just press mute.
Now let's talk about this Austin Bomber situation.
Yes, Mark Anthony Condit, he recorded a 25-minute confession and killed himself in a final explosion. We told you about this. He had been terrorizing with package bombings in Austin for weeks. He's 23 years old, and in that recording there was still no motive, so they don't know really the reason why. What they did find in his cell phone was him describing the components of the 7 bombs that he built and the one that he used to kill himself, authorities believe, and he detailed the differences among the bombs. He did not make any references that suggested he was involved with terror groups or that the bombings were hate crimes or anything like that. They still don't understand why he did what he did.
Did the cops get a chance to shoot him, or they didn't get close enough?
No, I think he blew himself up.
He blew himself up before they got a chance to get close to him to shoot him?
Yeah.
Okay. Because that's somebody who deserved to get shot.
Yeah, well, he blew himself up. Even better. All right, well, that's front page news. Get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. If you're upset, you need to vent, hit us up right now. Maybe you had a bad night, a horrible night, hated the snow, or maybe you just want to tell them why you're blessed. 800-585-1051. Get it off your chest. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Good morning, Angela.
Oh, good morning, Snackman. Did you send us a postcard?
How many did I send you?
Oh, my God. Oh, boy.
It seems like you sent a postcard, but it was kind of rude.
What do you say?
I sent 2 up. I didn't number them. I'm so sorry. That you probably was number 2. So,
You call
yeah.
It says to Angela and her Breakfast Club bitches. Yo, you need to put a muzzle on your bitches when I speak, yo. Snackman.
No,
that was number 2. That was number 2.
I'm surprised you can't even afford a card.
That was warm. That was warm. So you have a joke today, Snackman, or should we hang up on you now?
Yes. No, listen. No, I'm so sorry. That was number 2 of 3.
Oh, I didn't get any other ones.
I'm so
Snackman, you wasted our time. Get to your whack-ass joke.
Listen, you guys, about the O.J. Simpson, yo, John Elway's involved with that because I read the police report and it mentioned a slow white Bronco. Thank you.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, my God. Jesus.
Snackman, ladies and gentlemen.
Jesus sucks. Hello, who's this?
Hey, this is CC from 757.
Hey, Mama, 757. Get it off your chest.
Hey, good morning, DJ Envy.
Good morning.
Morning.
What's happening?
Good morning. First of all, I'm upset because my boyfriend only gave me $10 for gas. But most importantly, I'm upset about the Stephon Clark's murder. I want to know, when is enough? When are we going to recognize that we need de-escalation training in our police department?
Right.
I'm really upset that this year alone, over 200 plus murders due to law enforcement.
Yeah, I'm sitting there thinking, man, I hate when things like this happen because these are those times where I really don't have any bright ideas,
Right.
and so it's just like kind of frustrating. But I'm sitting there thinking, like, I know cops have other weapons. Maybe they should reach for that other weapon first. Like, you don't always have to go right for the gun.
The only problem with that is they'll always say, I felt like my life was in danger and I had to protect myself. That's what they'll always say. But in this case, it's just crazy because the man had a cell phone in his hand.
Correct, but we also have Mohammed Noor, who murdered the Australian woman. And he
got charged with murder. He got charged with murder.
So, does Black Lives Matter only when you're a white cop?
True. Word is born. Black cop killed all. He was black, right? The guy. He was black, and the woman was Australian. Ethiopian.
He was Ethiopian.
He got charged with full-fledged murder. Now, when the hell do you see cops get charged with murder?
Right.
Yeah.
With no, it was less than nothing, no coverage on that at all. It's just, it's like it was supposed to be. He did wrong. He was supposed to he's supposed to get charged for that. So now, do we expect for these officers now just to get off as usual? It's like a band-aid. You keep ripping it off, and we don't heal from it.
Yeah, they scared of us because we black, and we scared of them because they cops. It's going to be a constant cycle of blood and murder until something breaks.
Get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. If you're upset, you need a vent, hit us up now. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Hi, this is Carly from Boca Raton, Florida.
Hey, good morning, Mama. Get it off your chest.
Oh my God, you guys are so awesome. It's all positive vibes. I'm out running every single morning I run, and I listen to you guys. So, you keep me company, and I appreciate it.
Ooh, I can hear you running right now, boy. I like this kind of dedication early.
Thank you, Mama.
Oh, you guys have a good day.
All right, boo.
She's going
You know
hard.
how hard it is to talk to people while you're running?
I
Yeah,
know.
I appreciate that. I respect that.
Hello, who's this?
What up, gang? Big Truck with the toe sucker. How y'all feel?
Toe sucker, what's up, man? Get it off your chest.
Yeah, so I heard Charlamagne talking about aliens the other day, so I'm going to do something about aliens with a little different voice and do it better than it is. You ready?
Okay.
Hey, yo, this is Crazy Carl the Crackhead, yo. An alien broke into my crack house the other day and took my crack, so I shot the mother effer before he got back in his spaceship.
I don't know.
I love our listeners, man. Our listeners are just authentically themselves. Good, bad, stupid, don't even matter.
I just don't
I
know.
appreciate every single one of y'all.
Hello, who's this?
Yeah, Harry.
What's up, bro? Get it off your chest.
Yeah, man, I got some lyrics. I've been trying to spit. Ain't nobody feeling it. I want to get it off my chest. You cool with that?
Nah, we good. If ain't nobody else feeling it, why you want to share it?
Heavy, man. Come on, bro.
This Charlamagne the God talking, bro. Nobody wants to hear that God.
Come on, Charlamagne. Come on. I watch that every morning, man. It ain't going to take too long. I'm coming out of Kansas City.
Hurry up.
Alright, we are guys going together like very nice. We meant to get each other for everything. You say you watch, you got.
All right. Have a blessed day. Bye. Peace. Blessings to you. I'm praying for you. God got a plan for you, but it's not rap. Hey, have a blessed day. Peace. Eric Alexander next hour on the Breakfast Club.
Disrespectful, man. He might have sounded good.
Man, shut up. I didn't hear the beginning either. Neither did you.
Oh my goodness. Hello, who's this?
This is Keith from the Bronx.
Keith, get it off your chest, bro.
Yo, let me tell you why I'm pissed off. Because, number one, they always talking about there's no motive. Whenever one of these Caucasians do something and they're trying to hide things from the public, the motive is obvious. You release the video from the phone and let people see what he had to say. Because if you look at these bombs that they put out there, you can see his motive. Look at the people that were killed. From what I've seen on the news, it was immigrants, African or Latin immigrants. You understand?
Well, that's not actually accurate. I mean, two African Americans were killed, a Latino was injured, and 2 white people were injured.
All right, but how were the white people injured? They crossed the wire.
Yeah, but he put a tripwire in a predominantly white neighborhood.
Okay, see, this is what I see. That's why I said what I said, and I feel the way I feel. You got this president that's sitting there talking reckless on TV all the time, you understand? And you got these Republicans in a position to shut him down, and they're perpetuating the things that he's doing by turning and looking the other way. If that was Obama, we'd be crying the blues right now.
I'm confused. You talking about the bombing and Trump? You're all over the place.
The whole thing in its entirety, the system, period. The way it's handled. Look at the Trayvon Martin situation. Not too long after that, you had a black man get into a confrontation with a Caucasian in the same state on his property, and the black man ends up shooting the white guy after he tells him to please get off his property, and the Caucasian guy come at him aggressively, and they have this altercation. The white guy gets shot, but they lock the black guy up. But they didn't lock this other kid up when he shot Trayvon Martin.
Listen, we know about all the racial injustice and everything that exists in this country, and the sad part about it is, mornings like this, I'm like, I don't even know what to do.
Can't even say
I don't even know what to do at this point. Like, I appreciate everybody venting and getting it off their chest. I think that's good. I'm definitely going to be talking about it to my therapist tomorrow morning. I'm going to be talking about it with y'all all morning today. But I just don't know what to do.
Hello, who's this?
Philip Wonder.
Hello?
Philip Wonder.
Hey, what's up? Get it off your chest.
Alright. Well, first and foremost, just wanted to shout out y'all. The Breakfast Club, been a big fan since like the beginning. And I want to project some positivity. Thank God for blessing us all this day, for waking us up. Thank God for our family. And can I drop 16 right quick?
No, man. You see, you were so positive.
All right, let's go. I want to hear it.
You just insult the whole world.
Nothing in this world could hold me back at times like back so coldly. Facts at times like this heart is frozen, overdosing to ignore emotion. Trees are blazing in snow.
Yo, I ain't had my tea yet, man. I ain't had my green tea yet. You know what I'm saying? I ain't had no breakfast. You know, the black men still getting shot and killed out here because cops think that they got guns when they got cell phones. I ain't got time for this yet, man.
Why does everybody think they can rap?
I don't know, because for 20, 30 years, that was the only way out of the hood. But there's a lot of different ways to get out of the hood now, man. You don't have to just rap, man. Please, stop. Stop already.
Get it off your chest. 800-585-1051 if you need to vent. Yeah, we got rumors on the way?
Yes, we are going to be talking about Amber Rose. She's not too happy about people judging her son. We'll tell you what he got excited about and her going off.
All right, we'll get into that when we come back. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Yep, it's the World Look This Morning Show, the Breakfast Club. Charlamagne the God, Angela Yee, DJ Envy. Now, Angela Yee got the rumor report coming up. And she's going to talk about Amber Rose.
And before we get into that, we should pat ourselves on the back because Michael Blackson and Georgia Rain have gotten back together.
They did?
Yeah, she actually sent me a little thank you message.
Oh, they got back together?
She posted, I agreed to dinner at my favorite restaurant and $10,000 cash app. Instead, I got an all-you-can-eat buffet and a $100 Victoria's Secret gift card.
Well, see, you know, the Breakfast Club with our unorthodox ways, we do make good positive things happen.
There you go.
Yes.
Yeah, so now they are dating again, and she did send a little thank you, boo.
So. But when y'all break up again, don't blame us for anything.
Look, we did our part.
Yeah, we did our part.
Yeah, we're good.
All right. Now, Taylor Swift sent concert tickets to Amber Rose for her son, for Sebastian, and he was super excited. Check out Amber Rose giving those tickets to a baby Bash.
Taylor Swift sent that to you.
Really?
Yeah.
For real?
She did. Open it up.
This is gonna be so exciting.
And guess what?
What?
She gave us tickets to go see her in concert.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god, she sent me a letter.
You gotta say thanks, Taylor.
Thanks, Taylor.
Thank you, Taylor, for this unseasoned chicken. Don't give your kids unseasoned chicken.
No, that's so dope, man. He's a Taylor Swift fan. That's a great thing.
Right. Well,
absolutely great.
Apparently, people started coming at her son for being excited about Taylor Swift tickets. And
why?
I have no idea. So she went on a rant. She said, shout out to all of the hyper-masculine men and ignorant dumbass women that will call a 5-year-old gay for liking Taylor Swift.
Whoa.
This is why young kids kill themselves, and this is also why our society is so effed up. Liking a certain type of music will not make you pick your sexuality, you dumb Fs. P.S. My son just got accepted into the most prestigious private school in L.A. because he's smart as F and creative as F like his parents. We allow him to be himself. He can listen to whatever music he likes. He can like whatever color he wants. And we let him be passionate about whatever his little heart desires. We don't make our son live by society norms. That's why he's so special. And she goes on to say, regardless if he's gay or straight, when he gets older, he will be around the most amazing, loving people that will support him no matter what. He also has more money in his bank account than any of you trolls could even imagine.
Well, I want to help you with this one, Amber, but see, I like Taylor Swift's 1989 album, but people think I'm gay, so I'm not the best person to chime in on this. But
And I can't say nothing.
Yeah, but I will say, do you raise your kid? F what these haters got to say on social media. This era lives their lives trying to satisfy other people's demands, and we have learned to live by other people's points of view because of fear not being accepted. But F all that. Do you raise your kid the way you want to? End the story.
Do you? Absolutely.
Yeah.
He likes it. We love it, man.
Now, Kanye would never get his kids tickets to see Taylor Swift.
Nah, that wouldn't happen. No.
All right, now let's talk about Braxton family values. We told you yesterday that Tamar has not been wanting to promote the show because she doesn't like the way that Vince is portrayed on there. Well, Trina, Tawana, and Tracy Braxton said, it's too bad. Don't be a hypocrite. Check it out.
One of the crazy things is you can't talk about our relationships and think that it's okay, and then when it's reciprocated, it's supposed to be off limits. And besides, we're not the ones who put it on social media about her, truculent relationship with her estranged husband.
When Trina and I was going through our divorces, she had a lot to say. She made a lot of opinions. As a matter of fact, when Trina was talking about her divorce, she shouted. I just think that it's almost as if, okay, I can do you, but you better not do me. Unfortunately, I wish some of this stuff was scripted, but this is real life.
She's absolutely right.
That's a good point.
100%. You cannot say what you want about people or individuals, and then when it comes back to you, you get upset. Absolutely. You just can't do it.
All right, now Kodak Black wants to get a GED while he is in prison. So he's going to progress his education. He requested a tutor to come visit him. And his legal team also requested he have access to a computer for his continued study. So we'll see if the judge will allow that.
They should allow it. The only problem is that they don't be respecting those prison certifications when they come home. Like when they get the GEDs in prison, or they get the degrees in prison, they don't respect them when they come home. Right.
Now, he was in solitary confinement, but he's out of there now. He had been sentenced to 30 days in solitary after he went against the rules and made a three-way call, but he is out now from there.
The whole point of jail should be correctional facilities for real, for real. They should let these kids go get education while they're in there, let them get their physical bodies back together, like just make them better people so when they come into society they can contribute.
They also gotta want to do it though. They have to want to do it.
I think they will.
Yeah, he requested it.
Yeah, when you got nothing but time, you'll do that.
Right. And he's due back in court on May 3rd for his 2 remaining charges from when he got arrested on January 18th. All right, congratulations to my guy Q-Tip from A Tribe Called Quest. He did announce that he's going to be starring as Miles Davis in Nelson George's play My Funny Valentine. So congratulations to him.
Dropping a clue bomb for Q-Tip, damn it.
I haven't seen Q-Tip in a long time.
Is his forehead big enough to play Miles Davis?
He'll be fine. I actually went to dinner with Q-Tip last week. We've been talking about doing some things.
Really? How's he doing?
Oh, he's doing great.
Haven't seen him in a minute.
A lot of things happening, but yes, he's going to come up to the Breakfast Club, so I guess he'll be coming up here to announce that amongst other things that he's working on.
Okay.
All right, I'm Angela Yee, and that is your rumor report.
All right. Now, when we come back, ERIKA Alexander will be in the building.
Maxine Shaw, attorney at law, Pam from the Cosby Show. If you was a Jehovah's Witness like me growing up, and you recorded Thursday night programming, and you know about putting that VHS tape and that VCR around 6:30, so it records till about 9, then you understand why I'm so excited to see ERIKA Alexander this morning, damn it.
All right. We'll talk to her when we come back. Keep it locked. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning. Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV Angela Yee, Charlamagne the God. We are the Breakfast Club. We got a special guest in the building.
This is a very special guest.
I know her as Pam. I don't know what you call her.
I call her Maxine.
You call her Maxine.
Yeah, I mean, I know her real name too, but I'm saying. Yeah.
I call her Pam from the Cosby Show. You call her Maxine from Living Single.
Yes.
But her real name is ERIKA Alexander.
That's right. I answer to it all. And thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yes, we're excited to have you.
You don't understand what I had to go through on Thursday nights to see you.
No.
Because I was a Jehovah's Witness growing up. So we used to go to Kingdom Hall on Thursday night. Wow. Those were the days of VHS tape. So I had to press record at like 6 o'clock, 6:30, and make sure you got a 4-hour tape. So it just record everything.
Wow.
Up to
I had to do that. Yes. I think you get a special medal for that. That's beautiful. You know, it was a funny thing because it was a different time, and now that everyone has things streaming to them, they don't have to think about those things. But I never saw Living Single until we stopped taping.
Really?
No.
Why?
Because we worked. We filmed on Thursday nights. That was our filming night. We did 2 shows that day.
And there was no DVR then, right?
No. So we'd either wait for them to come on, but the truth is we barely saw ourselves.
You could have shot in his house and seen it.
You know, here's the thing, we didn't. You know, the critique is your audience. Either they laughed or they didn't, and you sort of had a good feeling of it, and they would tell you where you're at. And frankly, for a sitcom, you need the audience to tell you. It's a back and forth, and they are the fourth character in a sitcom.
How many people told you? How many women were like, "I became a lawyer because of you"?
You know what? More than I feel I deserve. I mean, Marilyn Mosby, who's up in Baltimore, she said it. Mayor de Blasio and his wife, Charlene McRae, told him how important it was to them. You know, you meet people and they say hello, and then they tell you something special like that, and then you realize that representation matters.
It does.
And there I was, and I hadn't gone to college. I still haven't. And I was being a lawyer, but just, you know, graduated high school and kept working because my father passed, and, you know, I just wanted to help my mother. And here I was helping people go to college and become lawyers.
That's why we need more shows like that on TV. I know we have Blackish, but the reason I went to Hampton is because of Hillman. Like, they made me want to go to college.
Exactly. Yes. I mean, and you know, when I watched Hillman and Whitley and all of them wanted to go to college, and I was in there. But you know what? Things don't always work out that way.
Right.
And I was glad that I could help my family. But there you go.
Well, what happened though? Because around that time, black characters on primetime were so positive. Maxine was a lawyer. Different World had the kids.
Yes.
Cosby Show was a doctor and a lawyer. But then it was just like, well, let's flip the switch and show some negative representation. What happened?
Well, you know, I don't know exactly what happened. I think racism happens. There's an institutional, structured racism and bias and prejudice in people's minds. And I think even after the huge success of Cosby Show, 227 Different World, Will Smith's show, there was no reason for them to digress or go and divert themselves to that. But that's exactly what happened. And you can only say that, you know, it's, you know, showbiz is monitored by real people. And that not only did that happen, they segregated television. In fact, they got rid of mostly black cast shows from 2000 until like Shonda Rhimes started to show up. There was, you know, I don't want to discount Bernie Mac show, and then there was Chris Rock's. Everybody loves Chris. Chris. Yep. But for the most part, just nothing. And it was a really hard time, and then suddenly the bottom dropped out of the market, and people who weren't doing well were doing worse and losing their homes, and that happened to all of us, and it was unfortunate. And then things started to turn, but it needed Shonda Rhimes to do Grey's Anatomy and have power, and then to bring Kerry Washington and Viola Davis, you know, a different type of black lead.
Now you said lose homes. Was it that bad? Like,
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. It was that bad for me. You know, I did better than most. Well, it was not that I would work and do guest spots, and people would always often say, you know, we don't see you as much. And I say, you don't see me as much because there are very few parts. And the parts that we get, they're not paying as much. They're paying so-called top of show. They got this whole line that they would say, oh, you can't get more than top of show. And if you were, the more successful the show was, the less you would get paid.
What?
Yeah, the less it mattered.
That's not like a black person.
Yes. Yeah, no, it was unfortunate, and it's actually still in place.
Did you hate reality show at that time? Because reality shows were taking everything at one time.
I don't know. You know, I think I did. I mean, not because they were just taking the place. I just thought it was a poor representation of what black women were being able to do. And frankly, if you didn't fit in that mold, there was nothing you could do. I mean, you sort of watched it, and you kind of, I mean, look, it was like watching a train wreck, and I enjoyed it in that way, because I actually didn't think it was real at first. It took me a long time to sort of get that, no, this is real, and yet it's not real.
It's supposed to be. It's scripted reality.
Why is Flavor Flav on my TV?
You remember that?
Yes.
Yes. Fascinating. I mean, you know, but there's a whole time, and we go back and we see the beginning and the fringes of this thing that's sort of encroaching, and you have no idea its impact on the community, what it means for you, what it means for how people see you or perceive you. But then suddenly you're in auditions, and there's the person that you see right opposite you for the same part. You thought, well, are we the same type of person? And they should have the right to go for those parts. But maybe they really don't know what I do if I'm in the same room with them.
Right. I really believe you when you say that it's systemic, though, because you think about all the positive images we had on television, the ratings were there, the revenue was coming in, there was no reason to change it other than black people was getting smart. Right. People were being influenced. Like you said, you wanted to go to college. Other people wanted to be lawyers. That's the only reason.
Yes. I mean, you know, I don't know, there's no other explanation for it. And that just shows you how deep and dark racism is. And it's in our minds. And then there's a lot of, you know, we have to take some of the blame too. There's a lot of those images we we weren't force-fed. We also, you know, wrote. And when you got in those rooms, they often would only support the ones that played to the pathology, or, you know, the cartoonish version of us. Anything that was deeper, that maybe, say, a Steve McQueen or somebody else might pitch, was immediately seen as being, you know, false. No, nobody would ever watch that. And, you know, forced us to do comic books to try to, you know, do proof of an idea, you know, and go in at a very low margin, and just to try to talk about something, and that would be more than in our heads.
Now, you did come in here bearing gifts for us.
I did. Concrete Park was one of those ideas. At the time, my brother and my writing partner, who was my husband then, Tony Puryear, had an idea called Concrete Park. And we went around talking about it, and we met this studio executive who, in the middle of our pitch, stopped us and said, "Stop it right there." He said, "Black people don't like science fiction because they don't see themselves in the future." And we looked at him and we're like, "What?"
Don't tell me what black people like.
I know, can you imagine? Right. You know, and he went on to tell this whole story about it, but, you know, for whatever reason, that was his thing. And Tony stopped him and he said, "Well, let me tell you something. For black people, the past is painful, the present precarious, but the future is free." We always create the future. That's why you have rock and roll and the blues and jazz. He says, "We're the aliens that you took from across the ocean to rock your world and make your planets twirl." And by the way, there's Samuel Delaney, and there's Octavia Butler, and the #1 star, science fiction star in the world was Will Smith. He clearly didn't know what he was talking about. But that's at the head of a studio to tell us that. Two black people who we thought knew better. And
was that Joss Whedon?
Oh no,
that wasn't him?
No, that wasn't him that said that. In fact, Joss Whedon is who called me to do Jive, which is a Buffy spinoff. No, he's one of the good guys. He's one of the Avengers.
Got you.
You know. No. But whoever said that, you know, I'm going to dedicate a book to him one day. But I'm saying it forced me to create a new skill set, and I think that that's good. I mean, you get tired. In this business, I've been doing this since I was 14. You find different ways to recreate yourself and be able to have a conversation that's beyond any one character or show. And you can't do it if you don't have the opportunities, or more importantly, if they just don't exist. So we did the comic book again to just show people this is what it'll look like. And then we came out in 2013. It was one of the best American comics. And Forbes said it was one of the best graphic novels in America. And we're still out there doing it. And now the world has changed. Black Panther.
I know he's in the comics crazy, but are people still in the comics? My kids have never picked up a comic. I was in the comics as a kid, but I don't see the kids doing comics. Everything's online.
No, they don't. You're exactly right. And it's a shame, because it was not only a way to stimulate their own imagination and show them things that they may not see, but also, you know, it taught them reading. It taught them how to do narrative work, continuing stories, how to do cliffhangers. There were really amazing moral stories tucked into there. I mean, Jack King Kirby and Stan Lee were amazing at it, but they were just the tip of the iceberg in terms of how much talent was out there doing that. To this day, if you go to a Comic-Con, you go to Artist Alley, full of black, brown, Asian, women, men doing their thing, and tucked in there are all sorts of gems. And they do it for the love of it, not because they're selling a lot of money or getting, no one does that to get rich, but you do that to create IP, and that's why we did it.
Your father was a preacher, right?
He was. My father was a Lutheran preacher. He started off Church of God in Christ. Both my parents were orphans. I was born in the mountains of Arizona. I was born in actually Winslow and raised in Flagstaff. And I lived the first 11 years of my life in a hotel called Starlight off of Route 66.
Wow.
Yes. And so my father had his first heart attack at 35. So, you know, if you're with a father who is a pastor, you're basically taking tipped wages. They passed an offering plate around, and then that's what you get. But he was an evangelist. That means he was itinerant. He had no church. So not only would he take a tip, he took what the pastor took after he took, you know, his money or, you know, whatever, wages from it. Very hard way to make a living for a person who had 6 kids. So eventually he changed from the Church of God in Christ, Pentecostal, to Lutheran, because he had 6 kids and he had health care. and they sent him to the Lutheran Theological Seminary in Philadelphia, and that was good luck for me. It was the first time we were ever in a city that had more black people than, you know, just a few that were in Flagstaff, and I got to go to a summer program. My mother would take one of us each year and say, it's your turn to go to an extracurricular activity, and it was my turn. She noticed that in 4th grade, I'd done a play, and she said, you might like this. So she sent me to the Freedom Theater, which is on Broad Street. You did a little time in Philly. And a movie came to town. The 5th week in the 6-week program came to town, and they needed little girls, and they told us, you're all going to audition whether you want to or not. It's just going to be good for you if you never do anything. I got there at 5:30 in the morning. I was second place in line, and after 8 auditions and 4 screen tests, they chose me.
Wow. Was it 4th grade?
No, in 4th grade she noticed that I did a play, but it took all this time. There I was in 9th grade, and so when I was 14, 15, I got a chance to be in a movie. My Little Girl, Merchant Ivory was, you know, the Miramax of its day. In fact, James Ivory just won an Oscar for, I think, best adapted screenplay. So he's still around. But if you were Helena Bonham Carter, they did, or Daniel Day-Lewis, they worked for someplace like.
You think you would have auditioned if it wasn't mandatory?
Yes, I would have, because you know, I grew up, you know, everybody has their version of poor. We were pretty poor. I mean, so we were used to dumpster diving and going and diving into incinerators for cans and digging through couches for money and doing jobs or whatever I could. I would have done anything to, you know, maybe get another experience. And also, you know, I didn't know that I'd get the part, but I just didn't want to give up the opportunity to say that I'd done it and come in and be all happy about it and see what happened. So, you know, this is another.
When did you book the Cosby Show? When did you book the Cosby Show?
I booked the Cosby Show, so that would have been just in between 9th and 10th grade.
Wow.
And like just after 12th grade, I went around the world with the Royal Shakespeare Theater and did the movie in Paris, came back, did a play at the Public Theater with Joseph Papp and Gloria Foster. It was his last play before he passed. And Camille Cosby saw me in that play and kept, the story goes, kept telling Bill Cosby to come see not only Gloria Foster, and she was the woman in the Matrix who says, have a cookie, you'll feel right as rain, light-skinned woman. She said, you have to see Gloria and this little girl. And I was the girl she was talking about. Wow. I had already auditioned several times for the Cosby Show, you should know that, and never got a role because, you know, I was right in that great age group where I could have been Malcolm's girlfriend or Tempest's girlfriend or Lisa Bonet's friend, but never had they found a place. They kept saying, oh, we'll find a place for you. And by the way, back in the day, that was the only game in town. You know, there was no other place for a young person to be or audition. So
a young black person.
Yeah, or any black, really, but young black person. There were really no shows. Maybe Roseanne had a few things that going on. But I got a call, could you be at his house in 2 hours? And I showed up, the casting director was there, and he told me he'd created a role for me.
Wow.
It was called Cousin Pam.
Do you see this sinister energy that Lisa Bonet?
Unfortunately, I see, you know, he wasn't who we all thought he was, and it was disappointing. And it's not only regretful, it's painful. I think I saw things that I thought were cruel at the time, but I had also been raised in a cruel world. You know, I really had been. So you kind of talk yourself into things and say, well, you know, that's how adults are. You know, and at the time I was 19, playing 15. You kind of take it. You kind of know in your heart that that's much more than you would want to see.
You try something with you?
No, thank God. You know, and I have a Me Too moment. Both my mother and my sister were raped in life. So I take it very seriously. Allegations like that, but not me.
But both your parents were orphans. How did they meet?
Well, you know, as orphans do in church.
Okay.
You know, they're both their godfather, or I should say, like their godfather, was the evangelist in town. He was the bishop. His name is Bishop W.C. Griffin, and he became the bishop of that northwest half of America. Bishop Blake in L.A. took over for him. I mean, in a way, I'm from church royalty, if you look at it that way. I mean, he was a really heavy dude, but then they were just in the dust bowl of New Mexico. And it was a very Southern Gothic existence. My grandmother was a witch. She died in witchcraft. My father started to preach and was ordained since he was 6 years of age. They said he was a special child, that he literally would sit on a porch and people would come up, and before he could even walk, he would stand up, do scripture, and then go back to playing. Wow. My father, who was prone to exaggeration and as to say straight up lying, would say some of these stories, but my mother, who is not, said, no, Erica, it was very true.
Oh, wow.
And they went around in a car, and they would go on reservations or wherever they would call, live in people's garages, and he was a healer. They would bring him in, and what would happen, there would be a few people in the audience at first. They would pitch a tent, and then he would pray, do something, and then everybody would heal. Everybody would hear about a person who was healed, who they knew their whole life had some ailment or sickness.
Wow.
And then the next night, there would be tons of people overflowing, Indian, Mexican, white, black, to see this young healer. That was my dad.
And that's crazy because your dad
Fascinating.
got sick at early, 35.
Right.
Wow.
He got sick.
Nobody could heal him?
You know, it's funny. He died. They gave him a church in East New York. And before he died, I made some peace with him because he wasn't the kindest person. And he said he wished that that God had healed him, and he always wondered why. Sorry. And I wondered too.
I always you said so much that I wanted that. Like, first of all, your aunt being a witch.
Yeah, my grandmother. His mother was a witch.
She
would
said she died from witchcraft?
Well, she would go, listen, she had a restaurant. You know, black people, we do so many things, catering and all that. So back in the day, you really didn't have a life job. You would do things, and she had a little cafe, you know, a hole in the wall. And she would put dust over the door, so when people came in, the bell would ring, and dust would fall on it.
Oh no!
Yes, they called it goofer dust. Well, right across the street was her competitor, and they would have goofer dust too. So she would go back and forth to down deep south like, you know, New Orleans, deep where you're from, you know, and go get stronger and stronger goofer dust. Well, one time she came back, and she, by the way, she would just leave my father, so he'd just be on the streets. One time she came back, and Mexican family took him in, and he didn't even remember English. And they begged her to let him stay. Let Roberto stay, please, Roberto. They called him Roberto. And she took him. But she came back, and they said she was all twisted up with her head in between her legs, barking like a dog.
Wow.
Ooh, that voodoo, that roots, boy, I'm telling you, that's coughing up frogs.
And they said that the women in the church went to go get my eventual godfather, which was William Griffith, and he came, saw it, he left 3 days, he went and they fast, and they pray, and then they come back, and then they laid hands on her, and they got her through it, and this is the story now. Wow. I'm just telling you what, they got her through it, and when she came out of it, he says, daughter, the Lord told me to tell you that if you go back, you'll come back in a box. No, Rev, I promise, I gave that up back again. He said, I'm just telling you what the Lord told me to tell you. And that my father's last memory of his mother is her getting in a car, a red Cadillac, because her boyfriend's name was Red, and he would just drive through and take her away. And him begging her, please, Mom, don't go. Don't worry, Robert, I'll be back. And 2 weeks later, they brought her home in a box.
So have you ever wanted to put a little dust on somebody? Like when friends stole the idea for living single, did you want to throw any dust on them?
Yeah, that would be nice. I wish I had some dust. I put a lot of dust on people. Yes, you know, put a little over the White House door. You know, I don't know.
The White House.
Just slip by everybody.
By the way, when he made them comments about Haiti being a old country, I was like, somebody gonna catch him.
I heard you see that.
Somebody gonna get him.
No, you're right. I didn't think about it till you said it.
They didn't get close to him yet, that's all.
Yeah,
they ain't walking the right
probably
store.
already happening.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, that's in the coming. He made that happen. They just probably, you know, speed bump, you know, forcing it through like fuel.
What do you think about all these reboots they're doing, just to shift gears for a second, of television shows? Are you into it? Are you thinking, okay, I'd love to see Martin or The Fresh Prince or Living Single or anything like that, reboots?
Well, I don't know, Angela. Listen, here's what I think. I think it's great. People are nostalgic for, you know, things in the past, maybe for a good reason. It happens. But for me, I always try to be honest and said, if my film and television career had been a lot better, I might not have any problem dipping my toe back into that water and going and doing the Max character. But for me, life is time is so finite. You have so little time. I think I just want to see if I can do other things,
right?
And see, you know, if I can get people as happy for me, or, you know, into a different character or in a different way. So I mean, that's my goal now. Never say never. I enjoyed them, and this wouldn't be because I didn't have a good time. Just a matter of, you know, I just know that maybe because I do come from orphans, my father did pass, that you don't get tomorrow.
Right.
Today is it.
Why didn't you have a broader career, a bigger career? I mean, you did 6 seasons of a hit show and you was on Cosby Show. Like, what was the problem?
Well, it's partly what we were saying earlier. You know, that there's a structural bias in people's minds. I also think that being a so-called comedic actress, at least in their minds, I come from drama, and I was a dramatic actress, but I was known for being funny. I came in a package that they didn't think was funny. You know, I'm not being, mean when I say they expected black women who were funny to be fatter, to be louder, to be more. I was not that, you know. I could play that, but it wasn't where I was coming from. So I don't think I fit the bill, number one. I also think that comedy was ruled by black men. They knew how to make a show for a Wayans brother, or any one of them. They didn't necessarily think that it was valuable or I had any intrinsic value. So you talk about value over time, and you might have put a lot in, but it doesn't mean that they think it's valuable. If they looked at the show and how much it earned, and if they looked at the audience on my Q score, they might have said, oh no, she'll do well, and people will, it's good to invest in her. But if they don't invest in you, and even though you could have proof and all sorts of positive, sort of things around you saying otherwise, they won't, and you'll go away.
Damn. Is it true that the character of Maxine Shaw wasn't supposed to be a regular?
No, I was supposed to come in every now and then. And that's why you always saw her. The good news is that she was the only one who could afford her own apartment, which I really liked.
Really nice place,
she was really nice, exactly. But she ate other people's food, so that helped offset the cost. But no, I was supposed to come in every now and then, and it turned out that they saw in the pilot that the audience really liked the ensemble. And I didn't know that, and it wouldn't have mattered to me. I'm used to being an ensemble player, so if I'd come in every now and then that would have been the gig. But it just worked out that they knew what they had, and they wrote toward that.
Does this feel like a new Black Renaissance? Because you was in the original Black Renaissance that people talk about. Whenever they refer to the original Black Renaissance, they go back to that era. Does this feel like a new one?
Yes, but to me it's a market correction.
Like the makeup Oscar?
Yeah. You were always here.
Right.
You were always talented. You always had your ideas, and to me, I guess it's a revival, renaissance. I guess is a correct way to do it. So I agree. But I'm like, just when you opened and you said we were doing so well, and then they stopped. You're always there. So you can't have a revival of something or a renaissance of something that's always there. There's people always creating. It's now you're paying attention to it. Now you want to make money from it.
Because it's lucrative and it's a business thing, and I can't deny the fact that this is what's going to make us some money.
Exactly. And if there's all these podcasts and radio stations, all that, and not everybody's going to be as big as popular as you, meaning be able to look and all the eyes be in your space, then you're fighting for niche audiences, and that's when they want you.
Right.
It's fine when Fox wants a black audience to help build their brand, their network, but it's different when they abandon that and then go a whole nother way when they think they've made it, when they've got the World Series and all these other things happening for them, and Ally McBeal. You can't abandon that. But now, go ahead. Your sloppy seconds is somebody's,
right?
Ticket to,
we have so many options as far as where we can view things and how things can be brought to Hulu, Netflix, the movies, TV. There's just a million, YouTube. Everybody has different outlets, so we can get things done, and you're gonna miss out.
You're gonna miss out. And streaming and for the future has always been. By the way, black people are the most powerful culture makers in the world.
Without question.
13% African Americans rule the world in terms of how we think about ourselves.
We control the cool.
We control the cool. And you know what? Controlling the cool also is probably the best place we could be when you think about slavery and what it brought us and the pain. And then we think about how now everyone perceives themselves through how we move forward. We always have to check ourselves and make sure that we're moving forward powerfully. So, you know what I mean? Because we really do move the world. We make this whole thing twirl. So I'm really proud of us, and I say African Americans. I'm proud of Latino Americans who are now, there's a rebranding of America. They're coming back. It's not that they ever went anywhere, but we're starting to now not assert our power, but to know our power.
Oh, Miss ERIKA Alexander, this has been a pleasure. You hear me?
Thank you so much.
Production company. We are looking for people.
Yeah, we're looking for you. And thank you so much for all that you do, because you have to know I watch all your shows.
Thank you.
I mean, everything is
no
online.
taste.
No. I learned so much. And I really am fascinated about how you get to be young people of color here and talk to people about things, current events, and also be kind of, digging and all that stuff. It's really a sharp, to be sharp, and you have to be on it all the time. And I'm impressed. I think it's a beautiful thing. It's not something that ever happened when I was growing up.
Oh, well, that means a lot, and hopefully that means a lot.
Congratulations on your book and all the things that are happening with you, and congratulations on everything.
Yeah, hopefully that means a lot to kids who watch too, and they can say, oh, I see a lot of people always hit us up like, oh, I want to do something like the Breakfast Club, or I want to do radio. You guys inspire me.
Representation.
It is a big deal. Representation.
It does. No, it more than matters. It's changing people's lives.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. I can't wait to see what you do next. I know you got some fire scripts you sitting on.
Well, thank you. I'm doing the best I can. I better take my vitamins. I'm glad I was here.
It's ERIKA Alexander, y'all, the Breakfast Club.
Angela Yee, Charlamagne the God, we are the Breakfast Club.
Hey, salute to ERIKA Alexander for coming through this morning, man. Dropping the food bombs for ERIKA Alexander. Maxine Shaw, attorney at law. Okay.
She's popping.
Don't throw back. Don't throw back.
My spirit is full after talking to Miss ERIKA this morning. That full interview will be up on Breakfast Club YouTube page. Somebody just tweeted me and said, how come the best interviews get the shortest airtime? All the interviews get the same amount of airtime.
That's true. Yeah, they all get the same airtime.
Full interview will be online later.
All right. Well, let's get to the rooms. Let's find out what artist got robbed in the studio.
Well, this was unfortunate. Young Berg, who's now Hitmaker, and A1 Bentley from Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. They were in the studio together. They were on Instagram Live. I guess A1 had Lyrica's phone, and he was on her Instagram Live. And that's when you hear some men enter the room screaming, "Put that camera down." The scene then cuts, and when it comes back, A1 is running around the studio saying, "Did anybody see the men who ran up with the guns drawn?" Check it out.
Bro, I don't know, man. I don't know, man. Did he hit you with the gun? Bro, y'all didn't see shit, man. Y'all didn't see two running here with a gun, man? No. We was all in the room, bro. We're in the room. Y'all let him run in, man?
So who got robbed?
Seemed like Young Berg.
Yeah, Young Berg and A1, I guess. And that's if they were showing their jewelry and stuff like that while they're on live from the studio, and that kind of...
Well, anybody can get robbed. Anybody can get it.
Yes, they can.
They should be getting, not in the studio, that should be locked down, a place where they can feel like they can work and be safe.
I didn't know Young Berg was still the hip-hop pinata. It was a point in time when Young Berg was the hip-hop pinata. Like, people was hitting him up and, like, chains was falling out, money. They was getting a lot off him, but I didn't know he was still doing that to Young Berg.
Well, A1 is planning to sue the studio. He believes that it was an inside job. So they said an intern had actually been in the studio. When the intern left, they propped the door open, and after 1 minute or so after the intern left, that's when the men came in with the gun. So they believe that it was a setup.
Where did that happen at? What city?
I'm sure LA.
Yeah, I'm not sure where they were. But yes, so all of that is online.
Because he asked him, he was like, did he hit you with the gun?
Young Berg said yes. Okay. All right, XXXTentacion has asked to be let off house arrest, and the judge has just granted that. That was because they said for the last few months, these will be his first steps toward complete freedom. He's going to submit to monthly drug tests and report his travel as well. So now he wants to be able to work and make some money. So he wants to abide by the same probation terms he was subject to prior to his most recent charges in the domestic violence case. So now he's
what happened with those charges? Did he ever get found guilty?
I think he's still pending. That's why he was on house arrest, and he still has to go to court and everything. So we'll see what happens. All right, now, when Tory Lanez was up here on the Breakfast Club, he talked about almost having Nicki Minaj on the album on the song Shooters. Here's what he said.
Yeah, Nicki was on Shooters. She did an incredible verse. And I was asking her something about, like, the verse about changing something around because of where it placed the hook at. Because we was talking over text, and I think, like, through the text, it kind of just came off the wrong way. And I think she just didn't, she wasn't really rocking with it. And she was just like, you know, she didn't take my verse off the song, man.
All right, well, now that verse has surfaced.
I love that record, by the way. Shooters.
Yes, the song Shooters. Here is Nicki's verse.
All I wanna do is go trapping with the guns. They say we bad, I say we some murderers. Shawty say he got enough to pay for all my bitches. Shawty, is you down to do that to all my bitches? I came in, I just pulled it off the lot. I ain't talking ball, every baller want a shot. I get 'em rock like the Pyrex in a pot. Tell me if you copping, cause it's backups if you not.
Man, it could have been, she should have rapped. It should have been harder.
I like it.
I think she should have rapped. I mean, the singing part when she started off singing was cool, but I want to hear rap.
Yeah, rap. That sounds
He could have
hard.
just asked for another additional verse, maybe, but I liked it. I don't know. That's just me. All right, Tina Turner. She has forgiven Ike Turner. Now, we all know that What's Love got to do with this story. When Tina Turner met Ike Turner, she was only 16 years old. They got married, and he was constantly slapping her. He admits to punching her to the ground without thinking, but he says he never beat her. Isn't that beating someone?
Say what?
He says that he did slap her and punch her to the ground without thinking, but he said he never beat her.
Well, you can forgive him, Tina, okay? We've seen the movie. I was watching that movie this weekend. I watch it every time.
That's one of my favorite movies.
Absolutely. And the older you get and you see what Ike was doing to Tina, you cringe even more. So, you know, maybe you want to forgive him, but we don't got to forgive him.
Well, she said, as an old person, I have forgiven him, but I would not work with him. He has asked for one more tour with me, and I said, absolutely not.
Wait a minute, Ike's still alive?
Yes.
I guess so. If he asked for a tour.
I thought Ike Turner died. I swear I thought Ike Turner was dead.
No, I think he's still alive. Isn't he still alive?
If he's asking for a tour, I'm sure he's alive.
Somebody Google that just to make sure, goddammit.
I actually saw him one time when I was at the Grammys. He was outside the Grammys one year. Anyway, she said...
Well, this says he died.
Ike Turner died in 2007. I know I ain't crazy.
Alive.
What y'all talking about?
How was he asking for a tour then?
I don't know. Y'all just be saying anything on this damn show.
Well, she said it. She said, as an old person, I've forgiven him, but it would not work with him. He asked for one more tour with me, and I said, no, absolutely not. This isn't the time.
He asked
for one more tour.
That was before.
She said, Ike wasn't someone you could forgive and allow him back in. And she said, it's all gone or forgotten. I don't know what the dreams are about. The dreams are still there, not the violence, the anger. I wonder if I'm still holding something in.
Yeah. Listen, I don't even know how accurate that movie was, but if that movie was even 50% as accurate as it was in real life, yeah, you ain't gonna never forgive that man. Especially when it rains and it's cold out and your bones hurt.
He was treating her so crazy.
You think?
I don't even know if I mean, I guess you forgive for your own self to let it go, but you never ever forget and you just move on and never ever associate with that person again.
The wildest part of that movie, one of the wildest parts, when he was trying to make her eat the cake in the restaurant.
Eat the cake, Anime?
But he didn't just beat up Anime in that restaurant. He slapped another chick in that restaurant too. And then just sat down like it was nothing. And nobody called the police or anything.
Ike was crazy.
All right, well, I'm Angela Yee, and that is your rumor report.
My goodness. All right. Thank you, Miss Yee. Charlamagne.
Yes.
What are you giving that donkey to?
Donkey today is going to the police officers in Sacramento who murdered 22-year-old Stephon Clark. And you know, I'm just doing it to talk about it and get it off my chest. Because I really don't have any answers, any solutions.
All right.
Nothing. Let's just talk for a second.
All right, we'll do that when we come back. Keep it locked. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Donkey today for Thursday, March 22nd, goes to police officers in Sacramento who murdered 22-year-old Stephon Clark. Rest in peace to Stephon. Stephon was in the backyard of the home he shared with his grandparents and some of his siblings when he was shot and killed. Let's go to CBS News for a report, please.
Police shooting death of a Sacramento man over the weekend. Police confirm they fired at Stephon Clark 20 times.
According to police, Stephon Clark was breaking car windows and a home glass door in South Sacramento when confronted by police in his grandparents' backyard. Police say he extended his arms with something in his hands.
Fearing for their safety, the officers fired their duty weapon, striking the subject multiple times.
Clark was killed. Only a cell phone recovered at the scene. An oversight committee will review the investigation.
Now, there were 2 officers at the scene that night that fired the weapons 10 times each.
Listen, man. My name is Charlamagne the God. I have never been in the BSing the listening audience. I have told you all time and time again that I am not an expert of anything. I'm just a man who has lived almost 40 years on this planet, and I have some experiences, and I share my experiences. If you learn from them, great. If you don't, that's cool too. I'm saying all that to say, don't look for me to say anything in this donkey today that will remotely sound like a solution when it comes to the killing of unarmed black men in this country at the hands of the police. I don't have one bright idea. Now you hear this story and you're saying, well, why was Stephon Clark breaking car windows? Why was he running? All those questions are deflections from, well, why did the cop shoot an unarmed black man 20 times? Okay, he was running because he was scared. He was scared because he committed a crime, and he was scared because the cops came. And when you are a black man in America, you aren't just running from the cops because you committed a crime. You are running from cops because you fear for your life. And he probably thought to himself, I'm close to home. Home is truly where the heart is. Your own backyard is where you're supposed to feel the most comfortable. So Stephon probably thought, let me get home and then I'll surrender. It probably felt like a safe space for him to surrender to the police. But little did Stephon know that the cops he was dealing with couldn't tell a gun from a cell phone, which always seems to be the case when a black man is involved. If you have a cell phone in your hand and you're black, cops see a gun. If you have a remote control in your hand and you're black, cops see a gun. If you are holding a large cup of lemonade from Chick-fil-A in your hand and you are black, cops will see a gun. So I don't have any answers on how to avoid getting shot by police. It's really the luck of the draw. And I don't even believe in luck. I just know that if a cop draws his gun and you're a black man, you're lucky you don't get shot. Okay? I mean, these kids who shoot up these schools always just get arrested. For some strange reason, a black man committing petty crimes like breaking car windows sparks more fear in a police officer than a white kid who shoots and kills dozens of people. Look, I don't know. Okay, I have not a clue what to say or what to do about any of this anymore. I can't stop being black, and I don't want to. Okay, it's a lot of fun. All right, it's a fun, anxiety-filled experience being in this melanin, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. I just don't understand why people, including law enforcement, are so terrified of it. Okay, the cycle has to break, and it has to break soon. Cops are scared of black and brown people. Black and brown people are scared of the cops. Only difference is we don't have the license to kill that cops do. Okay, civilians can't gun down a cop and use the excuse, I was afraid for my life, I feared for my safety, even though we are. But cops can gun us down when all we are doing is holding a cell phone and say they fear for their lives, they fear for their safety. So I understand your fear, but nah, man. Cops, you have all the power in these situations, okay? As a black man in America, when we are in these positions where it's us against the cops are truly Thanos with all the Infinity Stones at their disposal. Now, I'm going to play the audio of Stephon Clark being gunned down and murdered by the police in Sacramento because all I can think to do in these situations is address the problem because I have no solutions, and maybe addressing the problem will lead to some solutions from somebody, but it won't be me. Let's listen to 22-year-old Stephon Clark's last moments on this earth.
Hey! Show me your hands! Stand up! Stand up! 5-7 south. Show me your hands! Get in! Oh. 5-7 shots fired, subject, go! Show me your hands! See your hands! 5-7, he's down. No movement. We're gonna need additional units. We can't see the gun. Hey! Can you hear us? If you can hear us! Can you hear us?
We need to know if you're okay. We need to get you medics, so we can't go over there and get you help unless we know you don't have your weapon.
We're gonna need CPR stuff. Rescue mask for CPR?
Of course you can't see the gun. How can you see what doesn't exist? And I hate when they call CPR and stuff. You just fired 20 rounds. CPR for what? Don't act like you care about my life after you fired 20 rounds. Asking someone if they okay after you fired 20 rounds and they not moving. I don't know, man. Maybe they've been watching too much Luke Cage on Netflix and they really think black people are bulletproof. Okay? I have zero answers. Alright? I'm at the point in my life where I think they just ask us to put our hands up so they can get a clear shot at our chest. Okay? And when a cop asks you to put your hands up, that's something you have to think about too, because I really don't want to make any sudden movements. It's just, I don't know. It's just frustrating to say the least. And that's really saying the least. Okay?
His poor family.
R.I.P. to Stephon Clark, and please give the cops in Sacramento who murdered this young man the biggest hee-haw.
Yeah, it's very sad. And what I don't understand as well is I thought there was a protocol for police shooting. I thought at least there was a protocol that if they shot 3 times and then assessed the situation. But they shot 20 times. There was no shooting back.
I'll be honest with you, I think 3 times is too much.
It's just crazy.
Fire one a shot. And that's that.
Alright. Well, thank you for that dog of the day. Up next, Ask Yee. 800-585-1051. If you got relationship advice and need any type of advice, you can call Yee right now. Phone lines are wide open. 800-585-1051 is the Breakfast Club. Come on. Hello, who's this?
Hi, good morning. This is Gary. How are you?
Hey, Gary. How's it going, brother?
I'm doing well, MV.
What's your question for Yee?
I caught my wife cheating. I've been with her for 11 years. And we've been married for a year and a half, and I was contemplating suicide at the time because I thought she would never do it. But I'm still struggling, trying to find out if I should stay with her or not. I really love her, and I don't want to leave, but it's every day that I want to leave.
Right. Well, first of all, I'm glad that you didn't do anything crazy like commit suicide, because we would hate to not have you here on this planet with us, and I'm sure there's so many people that love you and care about you that would hate for something like that to happen. It would affect them so much. So you can't make rash decisions like that just because something terrible has happened in your life. And just know that other people have gone through what you've gone through and made it through that.
Yes. This is my second time going through this with my last wife.
Okay. So
I feel less worried, like I'm doing something wrong.
It's definitely not you. I'm going to be honest with you. Cheating is a very common thing in relationships, and you should never blame yourself because of somebody else's indiscretions. It seems more like issues that they have. And I'm sure everybody in this room can attest to the fact that we've all been cheated on, right, guys?
No. I ain't never been cheated on by my wife. Cheated on my girl when she was in college when she wasn't my wife. I can't relate to what you're going through, brother, and I don't want to feel your pain either.
Charlamagne, it hurts every day. I'm still struggling now, man.
Yeah, Charlamagne, he was contemplating killing himself.
I mean, I could imagine. But
you asked me a question, I gave an answer.
What you got to do is you got to remember that it's not you, and what you have to do is you might have to go to church. You might have to go get some therapy. You might have to talk to somebody. But do you have any kids?
I have a lot. I have a lot. I take care of other people's kids.
Well, there you go. There's no reason to lose your life when so many people depend on you and so many people care about you. You got to remember that. And as far as your wife is concerned, has she apologized? Do you forgive her? Is she trying to get right?
It's up in the ear. I mean, she doesn't say the word I'm sorry. She shows with her actions. That's the type of person she is.
Are you staying with her?
I think he's contemplating whether or not he should stay with her. But what I think you need to do is, first of all, focus on you. Okay? Before you even can figure out what's going to happen in this relationship and how to move forward, you need to fix yourself and focus on being confident in yourself and knowing that what someone else does not define you. It defines them. So she has some issues that she needs to deal with. She has a lot of proving that she needs to do to you, because if she cares about you and she loves you, she would not want to hurt you in the way that she does. And sometimes people can't even explain why they've done the things that they've done. I'm sure that she didn't cheat on you because she doesn't love you or because you're not enough for her, but she's probably done that because of her own issues that she has within herself.
But why did she cheat? Did she say why she cheated?
Does it matter?
I can't say too much because people know who she is, but
bro, can we look at the bright side? You have the ultimate hall pass right now. The best way to get over a woman is to get on top of another one. Go get you some other
That's not true. I'm not like that anymore, man.
That actually might make you feel a lot worse when you do something
because
that's
he's stuck on his wife and he wants his family back and he wants to make things right. You got to have a conversation and tell her how you feel, and she has to apologize. She has to understand that she was wrong, and she has to be remorseful. She can't just say, okay, I'm sorry, and keep it moving. It doesn't work like that.
But what you need to do, sir, is you need to worry about yourself and do whatever it needs to do, whatever you need to do to make yourself better. And that is definitely going to take time. And you have to understand that, of course, you're going to be depressed. Of course you're hurt. Of course you're upset. You're a human being. And that's how you feel. But it will pass.
Does she still want to be with you?
She does. She says she wants to be with me, and she wants to be. She says she wants to be the faithful wife that I want. But when you say stuff like that, I want you to be who you are.
Hey, man.
Just take your time, and no matter what it is that you do, you don't have to make a decision right now. And the only way that she can prove herself to you is by time. So it might take years for you to feel like you can trust her again. But if she's dedicated and willing to do that, and that's up to you whether or not you want to allow her or give her that opportunity to prove herself, is completely up to you. But in the meantime, you need to do things that are going to make you feel better about yourself, about your life, to get your confidence back. Whatever it is that you have to do for yourself, you need to take the time to do that. You need to be selfish, and that being selfish.
Like a vagina.
It's not going to be easy, but it'll take time and you'll get through it, bro.
And work on your mental health as well. Work on your mind. Work on all of those things.
Okay, I still feel sometimes I don't want to be here, but I have friends and family that helps me through it.
And I promise you, as soon as you get some other vagina, you'll feel better.
I don't know
and
about
as far as your wife, the best apology is change behavior. So she can say sorry, but she got to stop popping that boom boom for other goons.
And I just want to say one last thing. Just think about things that you've gone through in the past. You said your ex-wife cheated on you as well. You got over that, right?
I did, but I was in the hospital. It took a while.
And you got through it. So all I'm saying is it does take a while, but You will get through it. It does take time, and you have to make sure that you're here to make sure you get through it.
How'd you get over your ex? You got over your ex by what? Getting with another woman, right?
I did not, Charlamagne.
How'd you get over her then?
Through the grace of God and in the hospital.
No doubt. And after a while, you got with another woman, right?
When you're ready, you can make whatever decision that you want to make.
I'm not trying to rush to do it. And also, today's my birthday.
Well, happy birthday, brother.
Man, where you at so I can send you a prostitute? Where you at? Where you living at?
And my mother died on my birthday as well.
Oh, Lord, you know what? I'm leaving the room.
Well, you know what?
God bless
you know what? We're going to put you on hold, man, and we're going to take your number and check up on you, man, and make sure everything is good, man.
And I'm glad you and your wife are doing better, too, Envy, and I thank you for everybody on that show. Have a good day.
Think about it. Me and my wife, we've been going through it for 6 years, and there's ups, there's downs, but we push harder, and we both try to make it work, and I do what I have to do as a man to show that I'm sorry.
And Envy actually had a situation where he, too, had to go to the hospital.
Yeah, sometimes things happen, but we're going to put you on hold, all right?
All right, thank you both. You both have all. You guys have a good day.
All right, brother.
Happy birthday.
It's that man's birthday. He need a drink and a prostitute. Okay, I wish I was his homeboy. We can have some fun today.
800-585-1051. You got a question? Call it now at the Breakfast Club. Good morning. Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Now, on the line right now, we have a young lady that called a couple of weeks ago. Her name is Ebony. Ebony, hello.
Hi, Envy. How are you?
We're doing good. Now, last time you called, you needed some advice. You wanted a raise, and Yee helped you out, right?
Yes, he did.
All right, so Ebony, let's do a little recap. So you called up and explain what happened.
So I called you guys. I actually called you guys Wednesday, February 21st, because I recorded myself. I called you guys, and I asked my boss for was raised. You had gave me advice and told me what to do.
Okay, so Ebony, explain what happened when you asked for your raise.
Okay, he actually approached me. It was one stressful day at work. I worked at fast food. It was so stressful. I was running from the house to back to the house. A lot of employees did not show up. So towards the lunch rush, everything was over with. He called me to his office. He was like, before I walked out to the Ebony, can I tell you something? I said, yes, I'm giving you a raise. And he told me the amount. I was so happy. He didn't want me to tell anyone, of course, but I told my parents. I was extremely happy. And he said, I do realize all your hard work. And it was right before the deadline that I told you about, right before April.
But we are
nervous right now. I can't even get everything.
We are very excited for you, Ebony. See, there you have it. Your hard work did not go unnoticed.
Yes, I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm so happy.
Now, when he offered you a raise, did you barter it all and ask for more?
No, I didn't. My boyfriend said I should ask for more, but it was actually like a $2 raise. So I'm making a lot more. This is my highest paying job I ever had. So my boyfriend's like, you should ask for more. I'm like, I think that was worth it. And then I'm starting my own business also, so.
All right, Ebony. Well, we're very happy and proud of you up here on the Breakfast Club. You're a go-getter, so we're really, really happy. And that's why no matter what, when you're working a job, even if you feel like you're not getting paid what you should be getting paid, you always got to put forth the best effort because you never know who's watching and what can happen from it. No reason to do a job and agree to do something if you're not going to put forth your best effort.
Yes, that's so true. Life is what you make it. If you hate your job every day, you're going to hate your life every day.
There you go.
All right, Ebony. Congratulations. I'm glad you're happy.
Thank you.
All righty, mama.
Thank you. I love you, Charlamagne.
I love you too, boy.
All right. Ask Yee. 800-585-1051. If you got a question for Yee, you can call at any time. Yee, we got rumors on the way?
Yes, we are going to talk about Princess Love versus Brandy. We gave you the story that they did not show up to Princess Love's baby shower because they had an argument. Well, now it seems like Princess Love thinks Brandy's being phony.
Okay. We'll talk about it when we come back. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning. Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Happy Thursday to you and yours.
What's happening?
Let's get to these rumors. Princess Love, Brandy, ding.
Jesus Christ.
Wow. Wow.
All right.
From there.
Well, we told you before about Princess Love, and she had her baby shower, and Brandy and her mom did not show up to the baby shower. Apparently, they were upset about some posts she had done after she was mad at Ray J. She felt that he had, I guess, cheated on her. Well, Brandy did do a post. Congrats to my brother and sister on their baby and baby shower. I'm very excited to be an auntie. So sorry I missed this moment with the both of you. I had a show in Hampton, Virginia on the same day, but I'm so glad I was able to push my flight back for the gender reveal the day before. There is nothing here but love, and no matter what anyone says, we are family and we will always be. That's when Princess Love responded, STFU posting this. I should post what you just text me. So I guess that's her way of saying that Brandy's not keeping it real.
It's lying.
Yeah. All right.
She probably is. More than likely fronting for the gram.
Yeah, fronting for the gram. Because she probably didn't like that negative press about her not showing up to the baby shower.
Yeah, and she probably think that by posting something, people would be like, well, no, Brandy doesn't hate Princess, because if she did, she wouldn't have posted this.
All right. Well, I think Ray J's coming here next week anyway, so we'll ask him about all of that. All right, Rich the Kid. He is married, and you know Rich the Kid from the New Freezer song. I keep trying to get you guys to the challenge. Yeah, the song with him
grown-ass man.
Kendrick.
I don't know Freezer challenge.
Anyway, apparently he's married to a woman named Antoinette, and she is now asking for full physical custody of their 2 kids, and she wants joint legal custody and spousal support as well because she plans to get a divorce. Now, previously she had posted on social media that he was cheating on her with a number of different women, and she also had accused him of domestic violence back in 2016. So the reports are that they do have 1 child together, but she accused him of cheating with people like Black China, India Love, amongst other women. All right.
That's a nice little roster. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to go out blazing. You know what I mean?
I'm sure you don't want to go out blazing.
Hey, man, if you're going to go out blazing, it's a nice little roster to have, you know?
All right, SZA. She is now talking once again, and she actually has done this before, about leaving music and saying that her next album will be her last album. She said, my world got so much smaller so fast. I have so much to write about. I feel like I'm in a cage. I'm making the best album of my life for this next album, and I know that because it's going to be my last album.
I hope that's not true.
I hope it's not true, too, because SZA is super talented.
She is.
She writes for other people. Her album was incredible. I know if she says this next one is going to be even better, I can't even imagine what that's going to be like. But maybe what she means is she's not going to do albums anymore.
Maybe continue to write.
By the way, everybody that we've ever heard say that has continued to put out more music, and the one person who never said that and stuck with it was Lauryn Hill. Okay, so if you're going to do it, just do it.
All right, well, don't forget the Control version, the deluxe version of Control is coming out sometime this year, so there'll be 6 new songs on that. So you'll have that as well as another album on the way. Now, Kanye is having some issues about using the Yeezy name legally. For whatever reason, he has that name trademarked for his shoes, his footwear, since 2013, but he abandoned the trademark for other clothing items besides shoes just last year, and another company in China actually seized that opportunity and they trademarked the term Yeezy Boost for their clothing products. So now there's some issues with Kanye trying to get that name back. He refiled for an application, but they're saying another company has that trademark now.
Well, that'll be a quick fix. He could call it Ye. He does so many different things. People care about the sneakers.
But I'm sure he does. You also don't want people to buy something else called Yeezy.
They're not going to buy nothing other than Adidas and Ye. He's good. He's good.
All right. He also has the Yeezy dating app, and I've been seeing this for quite some time.
I don't understand this. Is that his app or is that somebody else using his name?
Now, it got started by a fan on Crowdfunder. Named Harry Dry. He said, I've been building a dating site for Kanye West fans for the last month or so, and I'm very close to finishing it. I just need a little help with the final development marketing. And that dating app is not open to fans of Taylor Swift, just so you know. So if you're a Taylor Swift fan, you cannot go on this Yeezy dating app. All right, well, I'm Angela Yee, and that is your Rumor Report.
All right, thank you, Miss Yee. Shout out to Revolt. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Everybody else, the People's Choice Mix is up next. You want to hear something? At DJ Envy, call us up right now, 800-585-1051. Get your request in, and I got you, all right? It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.